Welcome to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I'm passionate about helping you shift the way you think so you can create a life you're absolutely obsessed with. Each week, I'll be bringing you a guest or a thought that's going to help you feel more optimistic and equipped to take real action. Get ready to push past limiting beliefs, ditch that negativity, and start showing up as the best and most positive version of you. Girl, let's do this. Hello, beautiful friends, and welcome to episode number 2 of the Positively You podcast. I'm Jessie, and you know what? I just want to let you know how incredibly excited and pumped I am to be hanging out with you today. So whether you are just getting up, you're enjoying a cup of coffee, or if you're already into your day, maybe you're doing some laundry or house chores, that's always my favorite way to take in a podcast. Little FYI for you. Maybe you're heading out on a walk or you're driving in the car, whatever it is that you're doing while you're listening. I just want to let you know that I am so happy to be spending just a little bit of time with you today. My goal with this show is to get you feeling super excited and really good about making little changes in your life that are going to lead to really big impact. And that is why I'm actually super excited to get into today's episode, because it's something that I'm super passionate about and I talk about it all the time. So, if you've ever read or listened to anything related to personal development or self-improvement or anything on habits or like the super secrets of the super successful people or whatever else, there's always a common thread, and that, my friends, is a morning routine. Seriously, if you head to Google and you type in anything on like morning routines or habits of happy people, anything along those lines, you'll get a humongous search result, and a morning routine is in nearly every single one of those. I have no doubt in my mind the power of morning routines, but okay, I just have to say it because I know I can't be alone in this, but it's actually really, really hard for me and borderline annoying when I hear about morning routines or advice or how to implement them from somebody that I just cannot relate to. Like a man who's in his 40s, who's never had kids, and he lives in this amazingly beautiful penthouse apartment that's overlooking this major city, and he's crazy successful, and he attributes all of that to his amazing morning routine. Or maybe it's someone who's in their early 20s, who's just energetic, no kids, going hard at all of their goals, and has just never been in that parenthood stage of life. I have no doubt that they've got amazing habits and awesome tactics that you could implement, but I just don't relate. We're just not in the same life place. And so I'm not like them. I'm guessing you're not either. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me so that you can see if we're on the same page or not with where we're going with morning routines. I'm 33 years old. I've got 3 kids. They range in ages from 9 to 4. So while I am out of the walking zombie phase of motherhood, I'm still in the trenches with it. I'm not so far removed from those wakeful nights and those super exhausting newborn phases, but I'm not still right there. My point is, I'm a mom. I'm in that motherhood stage of life, and that's where I'm coming from when I'm talking about morning routines, and that I'm not someone that's far removed from your reality and off in the corporate world and coming at you with that kind of advice. So, with that being said, let's go back to Google and searching morning routines. And if you look at any of those books that come up, or you listen to any interview or any podcast, it's obvious that these routines are super impactful and that the most put together and successful people use morning routines or implement some kind of morning routine. So it's obvious that if we want to be more productive, we want to be happier, we want to have good habits, that a morning routine is something that we should adopt, right? But I can already hear you. You're like, whoa, Jess, hold on, hold the phone. I was up 4 times nursing last night. Or I have a kid that hates sleep. Or we actually bed share and I do not see how a morning routine or getting up before my kids is going to work. Or maybe you've got a spouse that works late or has a swing shift. There's a whole slew of scenarios that might be causing you to have a little bit of resistance when it comes to a morning routine. If you're in any one of those situations, like the idea of a morning routine might be outright laughable, right? Or borderline offensive even. I remember when my oldest was a baby, you guys, he legit did not need sleep. Like, he could go for an hour and be fine. He did not sleep more than like 2 hours for the first 2.5 years of his life. If someone would have told me that I just needed to wake up earlier or implement a morning routine or something and I would be like way more happy and less stressed, I would have wanted to punch them in the face. I wouldn't have done it, but I really probably would have wanted to. So if you're in a similar situation or something and you're like, I know routines are important, but I don't see how. I'm going to tell you how. Start small. So many of us have a tendency to be all or nothing, to go big or go home, to have perfection or nothing at all. And when we're in motherhood, we just can't think like that. We have to think in ways that we can actually accomplish these things. So when we want to implement a new habit or a new routine, I know the first instinct is to jump feet first into researching all of the best possible ways to do it. You can hop on Pinterest, create a cute little Pinterest board and pin all of the things with all of the charts and all of the planners and all of the checklists. And it's going to feel amazing to get all of that planning done, and you're going to create this amazing routine and have things on it like wake up early, read, journal, pray, drink lemon water. Make sure your lemon water is not too cold though or too hot. It needs to be lukewarm lemon water. Get outside, meditate, ground yourself, make your bed, work out, cool down, stretch, shower. Have a gratitude practice. Get ready for the day. Do your hair, clean the bathroom, get dressed, eat a good breakfast, do your positive affirmations, brush your teeth, set an intention for the day, start a load of laundry. Make sure to take your vitamins, unload the dishwasher while you're at it. Now you can wake up the kids. Be happy and amazing and want to die by about 10 a.m. Check, check, check. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm not about setting myself up for failure, and I'm not about setting you up for failure. Quite the opposite. What I want is for you to get quick wins every single day and to feel amazing about your morning and starting out the day without having to check off all these boxes and all these check marks. So here's what you do. It's the easiest and the best way to take control of your morning, and literally it's going to take you maybe 2 minutes. It is make your bed. Now, please don't reach for the skip button or the exit button. I promise you, I'm on to something. This is a habit that I started about 2.5 years ago, and I'm not kidding you when I say that it really, honestly changed my mornings and the whole trajectory of my life. I know that sounds crazy intense, but it's really not. Okay, just stick with me for a second if you think I'm crazy, okay? If you're giving me the eye roll and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's no way that making my bed is that big of a deal, that it's going to make that big of a difference. There's got to be more, or I'm not even going to do this. I want you to visualize something with me real quick. Close your eyes if you can. If you're in the car driving, please don't do that. Just visualize with me. I want you to imagine that you're on a vacation. You're staying at a super nice hotel. You're just pumped to be there. Go to your little happy place. you're going to wake up for the day and you're going to head out and explore the town. You're going to go see the sights. Maybe you're going to have a more relaxing day at the beach and just chill. Whatever it is, you're excited about this day and you're going to head out of the hotel room and just go have fun. You've enjoyed the day. It's been super awesome. You get back to the hotel. You're walking down the hallway. You pull out your room key. You slide it into the lock. The little green light beeps. You click open the door and you come face to face with the reality that the housekeeping did not make it to your room. The bed is unmade, and you stand there in the doorway, and it's like, oh, housekeeping didn't come. And there's just this, like, not a yuck feeling, but just kind of like a letdown, like, oh, okay, I guess this is what we're working with today. And it's it shifts the mood. It's such a different vibe when you walk into that hotel room and the bed is not made. Now, hang on to that for a minute and let's visualize a different scenario, okay? You've just had the exact same day, super amazing. Get back to the hotel room. You're walking down the hall, pull out your room key, slide it in the lock, it beeps green, you click open the door, and it's like angels. And the room is clean and the bed is made and it's just fresh and it's like, welcome back. I hope you had a great day. And you just feel amazing and like you can breathe and you can go sit down and just kind of decompress from the day that you've had, right? Okay, so hold on to that too. Now go back to the dirty room, or not even the dirty room, but the room with an unmade bed. The feelings that you have in those two scenarios are very different. And literally the only thing different about your day, you still went out and did the exact same thing. But you came back and one time the bed was made and the next it wasn't. You cannot tell me that in those scenarios when you're visualizing that you didn't feel different in each one, right? All right, so I know we don't all live on vacation and we're not in vacation mode all the time with a live-in housekeeping staff. So relying on someone else to come in each day and make your bed isn't going to cut it. But I promise you that you wouldn't want it that way anyway, because while coming home and having that look of a clean, put together bed and room is calming and is such a reward at the end of the night, you being the one to make that bed actually has a crap ton of benefits. I have learned some of these benefits. I decided that I was going to commit myself to 365 days of making my bed. 1 full year that I was going to commit to. And I learned a bunch of things in that year. I learned that I could prove to myself that if I make a goal, I can keep it. There are so many times, especially at the beginning of a new school year or the beginning of a year, that we make goals and resolutions and all of these things. And so many times there's excuses that get in the way or things come up and we just don't achieve those. And that shows us through time that we can break those promises and we can come up with excuses. But this one was so simple for me to implement each day that it was amazing. At the end of the year, I was so proud of myself that I accomplished something for 365 consecutive days. That's insane to me. I don't know that I've done anything else that consistently. And it was really awesome to have that social proof that I was like, okay, well, if I can do this, then what else can I do? Number 2, it fires up your brain first thing in the morning and just gets you right into productive mode. You accomplish something right out of the gate. You get to feel that sense of pride and your brain is like, all right, let's go. And your day can just kind of go from there. The third thing that I kind of noticed and learned is that clutter and messes and just disorganization triggers that stress and anxiety in your brain. So if you can have a neatly made bed, that actually has calming effects. Think of the difference. Okay, we're going to do another visualization exercise. Have you guys ever watched the show Hoarders? I realize this is an extreme example, hoarders versus like an unmade bed, but just go with me here. If you've ever watched the show Hoarders and you're going through these houses and there's just clutter and messes and things everywhere and you just kind of get that like pit in your stomach where you're like, oh, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. And your brain just starts freaking out, right? Okay, on the flip side, think of when you've ever been on like Instagram scrolling or Pinterest and you're trying to get an idea for home decor or making over your master bedroom, and you're scrolling through these beautiful feeds of these made beds and these master bedrooms that are just gorgeous. Okay, the feeling there, can you guys tell the difference between the Pinterest feeling? It's like light and airy and you just feel good, and the hoarder feeling is like, ugh, and it's just tight and compactful and you just don't feel good. It's like this heaviness. Those are very extreme examples, but your brain sees those messes and that disorganization and it goes into like a stress mode versus a calm mode. So the simplest thing that you can do in the morning is make that bed, and it's already like this calm thing. And then if you need to, you can come back to your room during the day or at the end of the night or whatever, and you've got this clean, calm, organized place that your brain is like, oh, okay, everything is good. We're all okay. All right, so number 4, it creates a chain reaction of other positive and productive habits. This is kind of a combination of the other things, but I have found that after I make my bed in the morning, I notice how quick and easy it was to make that space feel more calm. And so it allows me to think of what other easy things I can do throughout the day, like clearing off a counter really quick or making sure that the dishes are actually in the dishwasher and not just hanging out in the sink, and other bigger habits, right? So it's just this chain reaction that's going to help you along as you're implementing more positive and more productive habits into your life. All right, so when Gretchen Rubin was writing her book, The Happiness Project, which is a great book, by the way, and you should all totally read it. You can read the physical copy, you can get it on Audible. I don't really care how, but it's really good. So, side note. But when she was writing her book and doing all the research on happiness, she said that making the bed was the number one most impactful change that people kept bringing up over and over again. The number one thing that people said was like a change that they made that made them happier was making their bed. Hello? Like, it's there in the research, right? And speaking of research, there was actually a study done by the National Sleep Foundation that found that bed makers were happier, they had better sleep habits than their non-bed maker friends, and there was another study done by Sleepopolis that showed that those people who were happier and sleeping better, they were also having more intimate fun time. If you have kids in the room, I wanted to make sure I said that so we're all okay. We're all on the same page there, right? So what? You guys sign me up. Making my bed can make me happier, sleep better, and I get to be having more like fun. I am so on board with this, and I hope you are too. So the proof is there, you guys. When creating a morning routine, I obviously think that the very first place that you need to start is with making your bed. Next, actually, you know what? I don't even want there to be a next right now. I want you to stop right there with making your bed. Get off of Pinterest, stop with the list. We need to start simple and we need to start small. Let's master this one thing first, which is exactly what I did 2 years ago. In fact, it was more than 2 years ago now, but that's when I started the bed making thing. And I got myself accountable, I got myself consistent, but I only implemented the one thing. It wasn't that I needed to wake up and meditate every day and journal and do all of these other things. The only thing I needed to do every single day was make my bed. And you guys, that made the biggest difference. And as the weeks went on and as the months went on, I definitely started adding in more things, but I wasn't held to that. And so I didn't have a sense of like failure or anything right out of the gate because I was accomplishing the one goal that I started out with, which was just making my bed. So that's exactly what I want you guys to do. I want you to just commit to making your bed. Commit to it for a week, even on Saturdays, even on Sundays. Make it. And if you have to make it later because you wanted to sleep in, heck, make it later. I don't care. Just get it made. This change is huge. It doesn't seem like it because it's so simple, but sometimes it's the simple things that make the biggest difference in your life, which is awesome because simple is awesome. So let's cut the excuses, Let's not make this harder on ourselves. This is such a good habit that you can implement into a routine, especially if you are in the camp of having little kids and if you're still up at night and your mornings are just crazy. You can do this. I know you can do this. It's the best little habit to start, and I'm so excited to see you guys implement it into your life. Thanks so much. Have a great week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on the Positively You podcast. I'm so glad you pressed play. I would love to connect with you more over on Instagram. You can find me there at positively.jessie. Drop me a comment or a DM. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, what I do, and how I can help you live a little bit better, hop on over to jessielarson.com. Right now, I've got a free download just for you that's going to help transform the flow and overall vibe of your entire day. Until next time, have an amazing week.